Well, the U.S. dollar has typically been the currency of choice when different nations want to trade with each other.
But some countries have been shifting away from tying their currency to our dollar. Last month, Argentina announced that they would start paying for imports using the Chinese yuan due to their shortage of dollars. And Brazil followed suit, announcing that it will allow companies to trade in yuan as well.
Here with more on the currency shift is Carla Mozée. She is a senior markets reporter for Insider. Carla, welcome. Is there any reason to believe the yuan could actually overtake the U.S. dollar at this point?
Well, there's been a lot of, thank you for having me. There has been a lot of talk recently about de-dollarization, the yuan overtaking king dollar in foreign reserves, global trade. And China has been able to increasingly use its yuan to purchase and buy and sell goods, but it still probably has a little bit of ways to go. I was looking at some numbers here. The Bank of International Settlements said that the U.S. accounts for about 88% of global trade. And that really hasn't changed over the past 2 decades. So it's going to take a while for, any movement, increasing movement, significant movement for the yuan to overtake the dollar. But there's been a lot of noise around it in, I think, recent months.
Carla, the currency being tied by these nations to China's currency, the yuan, comes at a time when China is also working increasingly on international aid packages to the global south, to enforcing greater relationships with other countries. Is there more at play than just it's easier to trade in the dollar or the yuan? Is this part of an international strategy on China's part?
It is. China has been working for since about, we believe, 2009 to increase its, the yuan's usage in international trade, and also to, reduce its dependence on the dollar. So this has been a long-term view of China. One of the things that we should talk a little about is why we're hearing a lot of noise about this is, Russia. Of course, Russia has been increasingly relying on China to raise money for its economy after it was hit with sanctions for launching war against Ukraine. It's been buying billions of dollars of yuan and, selling, increasing oil sales to China. So this is part of a larger theme for China. It also has a Belt and Road initiative as well. So a couple of the countries that it just made deals with, Laos and Kazakhstan, they're part of that initiative. So there is a larger, there are larger issues at play for China, what it wants to do for its domestic economy and also how it wants to expand internationally.
Mm-hmm. It's really interesting, Carla, to hear you talk about Russia, especially obviously given the situation in Ukraine, and we see no end in sight, at least not in the near term. I'm wondering, though, if more nations start using the yuan for international transactions, what would be the potential ramifications for the U.S.?
Well, I think for the U.S., it would probably hit the economy in some ways. Although I was speaking with a currency analyst today, and he was saying that sort of pace would be glacial when you're talking about how entrenched the dollar is in terms of the global economy. So many of the commodities contracts are priced in dollars. So those sort of movements would probably be slow. Having said that, there are also people who are looking at, how can we align ourselves more with China as China grows, China's economy grows over, the next few years, over the next few decades. How can we align ourselves with this growing powerhouse? And also, I think there are countries that are looking at what happened with the sanctions and saying, what if we cross lines with the U.S., with, the EU? How will sanctions cripple our economies? And so there might be countries that are thinking maybe it's good to shift away from our dependence on the dollar.
It's really interesting, Carla, that question about how the U.S. should be positioning itself, not only politically in this global standoff with China, but also financially. Carla Mozée, thank you.
Thank you.